Welcome to Education Express, my dear friends, once again. Today we are going to start with a very interesting chapter, that is compound interest. This chapter has been explored right from standard 6th, where they have introduced the concept of simple interest. Then slowly and gradually the concept of complex questions with respect to simple interest were introduced in standard 7. Then thereafter in standard A, again we did concepts of simple interest and compound interest both put together. And now in standard 9, we are going to do all the more complex questions. That means the degree of variation of the questions will surely be a little more higher gradation, higher elevated as compared to the previous standard. But trust me, it's going to be very interesting and very entertaining. So there are many practical aspects of our day-to-day life with respect to our calculations, which all gets covered in this chapter. Many a time we question ourselves, sir, whatever I am doing in mathematics, most of them I don't apply it, like factorization, like expansion, so I really don't know where do I apply them. So this chapter at least will not have that reason to say that I don't want to learn this chapter, for a simple reason that I really don't know where to apply them. Almost all the questions are application based questions, but you need to really work on how prudently you can apply the concept of compound interest and how the compound interest is different from simple interest. Let us say we have two friends, Aditi and Ruchi. They both have rupees 10,000. Use the word principal, or we can call it sum borrowed, or the amount lent. They both had rupees 10,000 with them. That is 10,000. Now the investment horizon was that they can invest for 3 years. So time period 3 years, and the rate was 10% per annum. Now Aditi invested with a bank who pays simple interest, whereas Ruchi was very smart, so she thought, I will go to Kotak Bank, and Kotak Bank is offering me compound interest. Same, what is the rate? So same rate, 10% per annum. What is the investment horizon? Again same, 3 years. So Aditi, Ruchi, two different friends, two different person. Both of them selected two different banks. HDFC Bank, who pays simple interest, Kotak Bank, that pays compound interest. At the end of 3 years, what is the money that Aditi will receive? So the answer is, the simple formula that we have for simple interest is simple interest is equal to P into T into R upon 100. And I'm sure you all are aware about this formula. So P 10,000, T time 3 years. Many people use the notation N also, P into N into R upon 100. Whether you take N or you take T, whatever notation is well, fine within the framework. R, that is 10% upon 100. 3 remains as it is. So the total amount of interest that Aditi will receive will be rupees 3,000. This is the interest amount. You can also call it simple interest. So at the end of 3 years, Aditi will receive total amount. What is the total amount? So amount is principal plus interest. Principal means how much I invested, 10,000. Bank will pay you 3,000 as the interest. So the total amount that you receive is 13,000. Everyone knows about this story, but one story which I will tell you. The amount of interest that you receive is 3,000. I have received for how many years? So you have received for first year, you received for second year, you received for third year. Whenever it is a matter of simple interest every year will remain same. This 3,000 interest is for 3 years. So every year you earn 1000 rupees, 1000 rupees, 1000 rupees. So the interest earned for first year is 1000, for second year it is 1000, for third year also it is 1000. So the total interest earned in 3 years is rupees 3000. This is the total amount. That is not the case in case of compound interest. So when we will do compound interest, that time I will analyze and I will tell you how it is differentiated. But at least for the time being, one thing should be very much clear in your mind. That sir, as far as simple interest is concerned, interest year after year, year after year, year after year remains the same. That means 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000 will remain same forever, for every single year. It was a matter of 3 years, so you receive 3000. In fact, you receive 3000 rupees for 3 years, so every year it's going to be 1000 rupees. Principal plus interest, 10,000 plus 3,000, 13,000 is the total amount which a person will receive. In our case, Aditi will receive 13,000 rupees. What about Ruchi? Bank says that I am going to pay you compound interest. Now what does that mean? It means for the first year, that means compound interest for first year. Same, my simple interest and compound interest for first year will always remain same. So for first year, on 10,000, bank will pay me interest only for 1 year because I am calculating only for 1 year. So P into T into R, what is the rate of interest? 10%. Upon 100, 0, 0, 0, 0. So what is the interest earned by you? 1000. So what does bank say, Since Ruchi will not withdraw this 1000 rupees, she is going to keep this 1000 rupees in the bank only. This is what has been assumed in case of compound interest. So now, for second year, Ruchi's principal will not be 10,000. Whereas principal for second year would be 10,000 was my principal plus I earned 1000 rupees. So whatever money I got, I am going to reinvest entire 11,000. Yes, in compound interest, we reinvest the money that we receive. The same exercise does not happen in simple interest. That is why in simple interest, the base for earning the interest is always 10,000. Whereas here, the base will keep on changing. For the first year, I received 1000 rupees as an interest. So my principal for second year would be 10,000 plus 1000, that is 11,000. So compound interest for second year would be principal 11,000. I'm going to receive on 11,000 now. On 11,000. What rate? Sir, 10%. Again, for how many years? 1 year only, because every year I'm going to calculate separately. This is story for the second year. 0, 0. So I have received interest of 1100 rupees. Wow. That means, sir, I started with 10, which became 11, and now principal for third year would be, I started with 11 in the previous year, and I earned 1100 rupees as an interest. So my total principal for third year will be 12,100. Can you find the interest for the third year? Of course, sir. 121,000, that is this principal, into rate, that is 10%. Again 1 year, every time I'm going to take one year only. 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. So altogether 3 years. 0, 0, 0, 0. So how it works? 1, 2, 1, 0. Have a look over here. This is interest for first year. This is interest for second year. This is interest for third year. All together, put together, if you go to see, my total interest would be 1000 for the first year, 1100 rupees for the second year, 1210 for the third year. When you add all of them, how much do you get? 1000, 21, 33, 3310. Check it out, my dear friends. 10, 12 and 11, 23 and 10, 33. You know what? In simple interest, I received interest of only 3000. Whereas in case of compound interest, I received interest of 3310. What is the total amount that a person will receive? So total amount would be your principal 10,000 plus the total interest that you received in 3 years, 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is 3310. So the total would be 13,310 rupees is the amount that you are going to receive. Between the two, Ruchi was smart to make a decision to invest in compound interest. That means every time when you receive the interest, that interest gets added to your principal. Your principal keeps on inflating. So you qualify to receive interest on the higher principal. As a result of which, your interest is going to be more as compared to the interest of the simple interest method. Have a look. Year 1 interest was 1000. Year 1 interest is 1000. So comparative basis, if you see simple interest and compound interest for the year, for first year it was 1000, again it was 1000. For second year, my simple interest was 1000 only, but my compound interest was 1100. So I'm getting more amount. What about the third year? So this will remain 1000, whereas here I'm going to get 1210. So basically the total amount of interest over here is 3000 and the total amount of interest over here is 3310. So my compound interest will always be higher provided they are kept for the same period and they are kept at the same rate. One more thing, disclosure, that is interest for first year will always be the same. Interest for first year will always be the same. Now the question is, sir, why do I get more amount in case of compound interest as compared to simple interest? Very simple. In case of simple interest, my principal will remain same forever. Whereas in case of compound interest, I started with 10,000 for the first one. Then my principal got enhanced to 11,000. The enhancement or the incremental amount in the principal is because of the interest earned. In short, you are earning more amount or you are earning more interest over here because of this 1000 rupees. So if you want to find out how much this is more, you can easily certainly do it. How, sir? Whatever interest you have earned for the first year, on that, if you take 10%, you will automatically come to know how much more interest you have earned. 100. Check. Yes, 100 more I have earned. So you understood how we have to find that. But that is not the question. Right now what we are doing is, what is the difference between the simple interest and the compound interest? And the story is here, right in front of you. Besides that, one must also know that the concept of compound interest is also compared to as an eighth wonder of the world, because the entire investment fraternity or the entire investment category people, that means those who are people in the capital market, big time investors, high net worth investors, HNIs, foreign institutional investors, long-term investors, wealth creators, they all believe in the theory of compounding. They say, and they coin this, saying that compound interest or the process of compounding in the era of financial market is compared to the eighth wonder of the world. They also call it compounding is a magic, and here your amount will keep on growing once you understand the philosophy of investing with compounding returns. That apart, let's get back to a few questions that we will be picking up from the textbook to understand what is the nature of the entire concept introduced with respect to the compound interest. Now let us say principal is 40,000, rate is 10% and time is 3 years. Now the fact is, for the first year the rate is 10%, for the second year the rate is 12%, and for the third year the rate is 15%. This is what is exactly given to us in the question. So never mind, let us follow the compound interest. For the first year, principal is 40,000 into rate 10%, So P into T into R upon 100. Time is 3 years. Now can we take 3 years? The answer is absolutely no. Because different rates are given for different timing. First year is 10%, second year is 12%, third year is 15%. Don't ever make mistake of writing 3 years. This is for first year, so you have to write just one. Though my investment is for 3 years, one by one, I am going to take for 3 years. So 0 cancel 0, 0 cancel 0. My interest for the first year will be rupees 4,000. Let us find out principal for second year. So of course, I started with 40,000. Then I earned 4,000 rupees as my interest. So my principal is going to be 44,000 rupees. Absolutely. I hope this is understood how I got 44,000. Whatever interest is earned, that you have to add to your principal. So you got 44,000. Can you find interest for second year? Of course. How? So on 44,000, at the rate of 12%, it is second year, but you have to take only just one. First year, 1 year, 1 and 1, 2. So this is you are doing for the second year. 0, 0, 0, 0 cancels. 44 into 12, 12 fours are 48. 8, 2, 1. So the interest would be 5280. The interest would be 5280. So what would be my principal for third year? Sir, I started with 44,000. So 44,000 and then I earned 5280. So the total would be 9 and 4. 49,280. 49,280 multiplied by, what is the rate for the third year? So 15%. 15 upon 100 into 1. So you can check it out. 1 year, second year and the third year. I am finding compound interest for third year. If you want, we can erase and we can find out the principal also. So if you want to write principal, you can show. Fine. Principal for third year is this. How I got this? The answer is, sir, I started with 44,000. You can check it out. I earned interest of 5280. So that makes up my principal as rupees 49,280. What do I have to find now? Compound interest for third year. 49,280 multiplied by rate applicable for third year is 15%. Time is 1 year. 0, 0. Any further cancellation possible? So this is 3s are 5 3s are and 5 2s are. Further here it is possible. 2, 4, 6, 4. So 2, 4, 6, 4 multiply by 24. 24, 7, 8. 24, 24, 48, 70, 200. 64, 180 and 192. So the total would be 7392. 7392 rupees. So if someone asks you what is the total amount of compound interest that you have earned during the last 3 years, my answer would be first year is 4,000, second year it is 5280 and third year it is 7392. 7392. Take the total 2, 8, 8, 16 and 17, 1, 6, 11 and 16. So this is the total amount of interest that you have earned during the year, 3 years. What is the amount that you are going to receive? Amount is principal plus interest. How much is the principal? Here you see 40,000. 40,000. What is the interest that you have earned? 16,672. When you add them, 56,672. So my dear friends, this is how we are going to follow the sequence of finding out the interest for the respective period, interest for all the 3 years, and the amount that you are going to receive. I'll do one more sum. This sum which I am talking about would be, let us say, Mr. Ajay borrowed 50,000 rupees from a money lender. Alright. So Mr. Ajay, he borrowed rupees 60,000 from a money lender at a rate of 10%. Time period, he borrowed for 3 years. Now he promised every year he will repay. So there is an element of repayment. He will repay. How much he is going to repay? He will repay 20,000 at the end of year 1, 10,000 at the end of year 2. So Ajay says, look money lender, I am in need of money. Please give me 60,000 rupees. I don't mind paying you interest of 10% and I want money for 3 years. But in between, for sure, I'll pay you 20,000 rupees at the end of year 1, 10,000 at the end of year 2 and balance at the end of year 3. So we know that he is going to pay 20,000 at the end of year 1, 10,000 at the end of year 2. Can anyone tell me what will be the balance amount at the end of year 3? Now how do we answer this type of question? Trust me, they are very simple questions. One must know how to analyze it properly. Let us start. Money lender will say, I will find out interest for first year. So compound interest for first year on 60,000. P into only 1 year. Rate 10%. Please find out. Oh yes. So the interest is 6,000. So money lender will say, look Mr. Ajay, you owe me, how much do you owe me? 60,000 rupees you owe me for the loan. Plus 6,000 rupees you owe me for interest. So you have to pay me 66,000 rupees. Mr. Ajay says, I promised you to pay 20,000 rupees at the end of year 1. So this is my repayment number 1. So I am repaying you 20,000 rupees. So how much I owe you now? Because out of 66 you pay 20,000, so you have to pay only 46,000 rupees now. So this 46,000 rupees becomes your principal for next year. Total borrowed 60, interest for first year 6,000. So money lender will say, look Mr. Ajay, you have to pay me 60,000 plus 6,000. That is 66,000 rupees. From 66,000 rupees, since you promised to pay 20,000 rupees, so I am subtracting that. Now your balance due is 46. So for second year, I will charge you interest. Interest for second year, I will charge you only on 46,000. How much? 10%. How many years? 1 year. 0, 0, 0, 0. What is the interest for the second year? 4, 6, 0, 0. Again, money lender will say, look, Mr. Ajay, you owe me 46,000 rupees and I am charging you interest. How much is the interest? 4600. So you have to pay me 50,600 rupees. And again Mr. Ajay will say, look, I promised to pay 10,000 at the end of second year, so I am repaying you. So again a repayment, second repayment. How much? 10,000. So if we subtract that, what is the balance left? So the balance amount of money due is 40,600. So again same process, 46,000 was pending. I calculated the interest, which is 4600. 46,000 plus 4600, 50,600, isn't it? Out of 50,600, I am repaying 10,000 rupees. So the amount of so the balance amount due is 40,600. Now money lender will calculate compound interest for third year. Compound interest for third year would be on this. So how much is the principal? So principal for third year would be 40,600. That is the amount due. So compound interest for third year would be 40,600 multiplied by 10% for 1 year. That would be 4060. Perfect. So the money lender will say, look, you owe me 40,600 here. Then you have to pay me interest of 4060. So amount due at the end of third year. How much is the amount due at the end of third year, my dear friends? 06644 rupees 44,660. This is the amount Mr. Ajay must pay to the money lender to clear his debt, to clear his loan. Balance at the end of third year. Balance at the end of third year would be 44,660. My dear friends, if you have understood these concepts, I'm very sure you will find all the questions of the exercise very simple. Let us start with exercise A. We are starting with exercise 2A. Question number 1. The very simple question. Principal is 16,000. Rate is 5%. Time is 5 years. I'm not going to do for 5 years. I'll just show you what exactly you are supposed to do. Please find out compound interest for first year. So P, that is 16,000. T, that is time, 1 year, because we are doing one at a time, 1 year at a time. R, rate is 5% upon 100. 0000. 16 5s are 800 rupees is the interest. So your principal for second year will become 16,000 plus 800, that is 16,800. Then find out compound interest for the second year, which will always be on the P2. 16,800 into 1 second year. Rate 5% upon 100. 0000. 168, 500 and 340. 6, 7, 840. So 840 is the amount of interest earned for the second year. Can we move on to the third one? Of course, sir. So P3 will become what I started with, 16,800 plus 840 is the interest. So how much will that end up to? 40, 8, 60, 7 and 1. Now if you want to find out compound interest for third year, same way, your compound interest for third year would be on the P3. That is, this is your P3. How much is P3? 17640 into 1 into rate. What is the rate? 5% upon 100. 0 cancels 0. 5 ones are, 5 twos are. So how much is the 8? 882 rupees is the interest amount. Now likewise you are going to do for the next 2 more years to find out CI for fourth year and CI for the fifth year, following the same process. Compound interest principal, compound interest principal, compound interest principal, so on and so forth, as there is no case of repayment in between. So whatever interest is earned, same interest will be added and no need to adjust this anything else. Question number 2 is again a very simple question. We say principal, the principal is 8,000. Compound interest for first year will be principal P, because interest is P into T into R upon 100. Into time. Time is 2.5 years, but we are taking 1 year at a time. 1 into R. Rate is how much? 15%. So can anyone tell me? 0, 0, 0, 0. 15 8s are 1, 2, 0, 0. So interest for first year is 1200. Can we find P2? Of course, sir. 8,000 plus 1200. That is 9,200. What about CI2? CI2 will be 9,200 multiplied by 1 multiplied by again 15%. 15 upon 100. 0, 0, 0, 0. 1592 92, so 46. 0, 8, 30. So interest would be 1380. We found out for first year, we found out for second year. So what would be the principal applicable for third year? Sir, it would be, I started with 9200, add to this 1380. That makes up 8, 0, 3 and 2, 5, 1 and 10. So principal would be 10580. Let us find out compound interest for third year. Principal is 10580. Now the time horizon one must understand. They have given us only 2.5 years. I already took for 1 year. Then I took for second year. So the time period left due is only half a year. Either you can write 0.5 into 15 upon 100, or if you don't want to write 0.5, you can simply write half. So 2 will come down. I hope you understand what I have said. Either you can write 0.5 and leave the matter. And if you don't want to write decimal over here, then this decimal can be converted into half. So you can do this also. How about the calculation work? 0 cancels 0. If you see, 5 3s are, 5 2s are, 2 1s are, 5 2 9. So we have 529 multiplied by 3 upon 2. 1587 upon 2. That gives you 7193.50. So, my dear friends, what is the total amount of compound interest earned in 2.5 years? So, first year I earned 1200. Second year I earned 3080 rupees. Third year I earned 793 rupees 50 paise. So the total interest earned in 2.5 years would be 3373.50 rupees. If I ask you what will be the amount, how much this 8,000 amount to? Amount is principal plus interest. How much is principal? 8,000. How much is interest? 3373.59. That gives you 11,373 rupees and 59 paise. So my dear friends, it was again a very simple job. Question number 1 done. Question number 2 done. Question number 3 I've already covered by giving you illustrations which I did by picking up sample problems by myself. So that is also taken care of. But again, I am going to explain to you the concept when multiple rates are given to us. That means not uniform but different rate of interest for different year. Principal is 16,000, time is 3 years, rate 10%, 14%, 15%. So if you want to find out compound interest for first year, P into time 1, rate 10 upon 100, that is 1600. What about principal for second year? Sir, I started with 16,000, I earned 1600, that will amount to 17,600. Compound interest for second year would be 17,600, that is P2, into time, 1 year, 1 at a time. R is 14%. So 0 cancel 0, 0 cancel 0, 10 into this, 1760 and 17. So 175 into 4, that is 175, 700, 704, 4, 0, 6, 4, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1 4. My dear students, tell me if the calculation is wrong. Please help me if the calculation is wrong. I hope you have understood this. You know, in this question, if you pay attention, that is a mistake which I have made. 7 7 14. So 14 will carry 1. So this will be 2. One small error and you are gone. So must remember this, a deliberate attempt, misadventure which I have done, so that to ask for your concentration. 7 7 14 1, and then that's how we have to do. So you know what, this chapter is very scoring, provided you discipline yourself and do the calculation work. Otherwise you will keep calling me for such trivial matter where the majority of the problem is a problem arising out of calculation operation. So make sure that your calculation operations are strong. It's okay if you go a little slow. What is more relevant is your accuracy. Slowly and gradually, automatically you will develop accuracy, and that's what will matter in the end. So the interest is going to be 2464. One more thing I will tell you, which is also very much relevant. If by mistake also if I write over here 1464, at the face of it I can tell you that the interest amount is wrong. So how? Because in compound interest, the interest for the second year, I'm not talking about 6 months, for the interest for the second year will surely be more than the interest for the first year. In this case, for two reasons. Reason number one, that my principal is bigger one. For the first year, principal is 16,000. For second year, principal is 17,600. Reason number two, the interest rate in the first year was 10%. Whereas the interest rate for the second year is 14%. So of course, the interest has to be greater. And in any which ways you see, the interest for the second year will always be greater than the interest for the first year, provided the rates are same. Let's move on to the next. So the P3 would be 17600 plus 2464 4600. Can you find interest for the third year? Of course, yes. 20064 multiply by, what is the interest rate? 15%. I hope you can do this calculation and get your answer. Once you get CI3, compound interest would be CI1 plus CI2 plus CI3. That will give you compound interest. And your amount would be principal plus your compound interest. That's how your question number 3 would be done. As far as question number 4 is concerned, we just discussed question number 2. Principal time horizon is 2.5 years. Rate is 5%. But one thing is indicated in the question. That means your answer should be nearest to rupees. That's the reason why I am showing you this question. Compound interest for first year would be 2400 principal into rate 5%. Time always will take 1 because it is for the first year. 0000. 24 into 5 rupees 120. So find out for the first year. Principal for second year, every time same thing, monotonous, 2400 plus 120. So my total principal for the second year would be 2520. What about compound interest for the second year? Sir, it will be on 2520. How much percent? So 5%. For how many years? 1 year. Upon 0, 0. 5 ones are, 5 twos are, 5 ones are, 2s are, 6 are, 126 rupees the interest for the second year. So what will be the principal for the same monotonous way? I started with 2520 and 126. That's how much? 6. 2 and 2, 4. 1 and 5, 6. 2, 6. 4, 6. How to find interest for third year? Compound interest for third year 2646. Rate. So rate is 5%. 5. Time is half year. I hope you understand. 2.5, half year. Half year means you can write 0.5 upon 100, and if you don't want to write 0.5, you can write 1 upon 2. 1 in the numerator and 2 in the denominator. Calculation seems to be simple one. Let us find out. I'm not going to touch this 100. Let it be like that only. 2 ones are 1, 3, 2, 3. 1, 3, 2, 3. Multiply by 5. 15, 10, 11, 15 and 16, 5 and 6 upon 100. That makes it 66 rupees and 15 paise interest. So how much is the total interest that I have earned during the year? So total interest is interest earned in the first year. Everything is in the block. That is why I have kept compound interest in the block, principal not in the block. Compound interest block, compound interest block. So you can pick up all the block. 120, 126, 66.15, 0.15, 6, 6, 12, 2, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 1, 1. So 312.15 rupees is a compound interest. What is asked in the question? In the question, they have asked, find the compound interest correct to the nearest rupee. I have to write this answer to the nearest rupee. Therefore, compound interest would be rupees 312 rounded off to the nearest rupee. My dear friend, 312.15. If I want to round it off this to the nearest rupee, it would be 312. If this would have been 75, my answer would be 313. So in case if the interest would be 312.50 or more than 50, I would have rounded up to 330. Since it is 312 rupees and 15 paise, so my answer would be 312 rupees. With this, we finished question number 4. Let's move on to the next question. Let us see and read question number 5. It says, calculate the compound interest for the second year. So I have to calculate compound interest for the second year. Given that principal is 8,000, invested for 3 years, time horizon 3 years, at the rate of 10%. My dear friends, this is a very simple one. Find out CI, 8,000 into 1 into 10, the whole upon 100. That will give you rupees 800. Can you find principal for second year? Yes, sir. I started with 8,000 plus 800. That becomes 8,800. Can you find interest for second year? Yes, sir. On 8,800 rupees, rate remains same 10% for 1 year upon 100. 0, 0, 0, 0. What remains? 880. What we have to find? So we have to find compound interest for second year. What we have found? Compound interest for second year. Question is done. Question is done, my dear friend. Question is done. Now, listen to this question, what I have to say. Please pay attention. Assume that you took a loan from me for rupees 2,500. You took a loan from me for rupees 2,500 at the rate of 12%. And for how much time? 2 years. Can you tell me after 2 years how much you have to repay me? Of course, sir. Is it simple interest or compound interest? So the answer is compound interest. Okay. So that means someone is borrowing from me 2,500 at 12% for 2 years. Now someone says, sir, if I have to pay you after 2 years, how much do I pay you? So I will say, look boss, first I will calculate interest for first year. 2,500 into how many first year? So 1, what is the rate? 12%. upon 100. 0, 0, 0, 0. 12 into 25 rupees 300. So my P2 would be 2500 plus 300, that is 2800. Again the same procedure. Interest for second year, so it will be on 2800 at 12%, of course, for 1 year. So 12 upon 100, 0, 0, 0, 0, 12, 10, 280 and 56, 6, 3, 1, 336. So sir, it's going to be rupees 336. So can anyone tell me how much is the total interest that I earned during the 2 years? So compound interest would be CI1 plus CI2. That would be simple, 300 for the first year and 336 for the second year. That makes it 636 rupees, sir. Absolutely right, my dear friends. Absolutely right. So, how much you have to pay me to clear the debt? Sir, amount would be principal plus interest. So, sir, you have to pay me 2500 plus 636. That means, sir, you have to pay me 6, 3, 1 and 3. So, to clear the debt, you have to pay me 3136 rupees. Again, I repeat, my dear friend, someone is borrowing from me. Assume Mr. Mehta borrowed 2500 at 12% for 2 years. So I will say, look, Mr. Mehta, your interest for first year would be 300. 2500 plus 300 is 2800. Interest for second year works out to be 336. Total interest would be this plus this, that is 636. So you need to pay me the principal money which you borrowed plus the interest. Principal plus the interest. 3136. Mr. Mehta said, look, I have only 2,936 rupees right now. How much? 2,936. I can pay you only this much. Plus, I am giving you my watch. Take it. So I am paying cash of how much? 2936. So the balance would be rupees 200. So that means what I am giving in lieu of 200, so you are giving watch. So what is the cost of the watch? So the cost of the watch would be 200 rupees. Exactly, we have the same question as a sixth question. Borrowed 2500 at the rate of 12% for 2 years. He gave me 2936 plus watch. So basically, he gave me 2936 plus watch to clear my debt of 3136. So the watch would be for 3136 minus 2936, that is rupees 200. That is a question. I'll read the question for you, my dear friends. Have a look. A borrowed 2,500 rupees from B. So 2,500 rupees per annum compound interest. As I told you, it's a case of a compound interest. After 2 years, A gave 2936. So he gave 2936 to Mr. B. So he gave 2936 and a watch to Mr. B. To clear the account, find the cost of the watch. This is a very important and interesting question. It was very simple also. I simply calculated the interest and found out how much the total amount due. Total amount due equals to 2936 plus the watch. So the value of watch is rupees 200. This is question number 6. You can mark it as a very important question. It is very simple. And trust me, all the questions now, 7, 8 and 10, they are all monotonous. Very, very simple. I will guide you how to do, but you have to do by yourself. It's 50,000 rupees for 3 years. Rate for the first year, second year, third year. We already did question number 3, which involved 3 consecutive rates. So what we will find? We will find out CI1. For that, 50,000 into 6 upon 100 into 1. So you will get the interest. For second year, we will take 8%. For third year, we will take 10%. But every time, my principal will keep on changing. P1, P2 and P3 and so forth. Same question. Question number 8. Same to same. The difference is this is 50,000, this is 75,000. First year rate is 15%, second year rate is 15%, and third year rate is 16%. I'll read this question out for you. Question number 8. Minal lends 75,000 rupees at a compound interest for 3 years. 75,000 is amount lent, compound interest for 3 years. The rate of interest for the first 2 years is 15% per annum. First year 15%, second year 15%. And for the third year it is 16%. This is the information which is given in the question. What we have to find? Calculate the sum Minal will get at the end of third year. So we can find out CI for the first year, CI for the second year, CI for the third year by taking the respective rates. Principal will keep on changing every time. Find out the total CI, add it to the principal, you get the amount. That's the final answer. What about question number 10? Same question. Read question number 10. Find the compound interest on rupees 4,000 on 4,000. So by mistake I wrote 40,000. I'll erase 1 0. It's 4,000. For 3 years, they mentioned accrued in 3 years when the rate of interest is 8% for the first year. Rate 1, 8%. And 10% for the second and the third year. Second year 10%, third year 10%. So my dear friends, very simple and a systematic question. One question which is left out is question number 9. Question number 9 is about Mr. Govind, and he is again a very smart guy. What he did, he borrowed the money at simple interest. And with that money he borrowed, he lent the money to someone else at a compound interest. He knew if he is paying simple interest, his interest cost will be less. And if he invests the money in compound interest, he is going to get more interest. So between this deal, he has to pay lesser interest and he will get more interest. He is going to make some profit. But then how to do this question, that is what I am going to explain to you now. Question number 9. Govind borrows rupees 18,000, principal 18,000. At 10% simple interest. Simple interest rate is 10%. He immediately invests the money borrowed at 10% compound interest, compounded half yearly. So this is borrowed and this is lent. He immediately lent how much? 18,000. What rate? Sir, 10%. But sir, this is compound interest, whereas this is simple interest. Also, the rate is half yearly. Now I explained to you the concept of half yearly. What do you mean by half yearly concept? I'll explain to you that. How much money does Govind earn in time? 1 year. So time is 1 year. Okay. You know what? When I say interest is compounded half yearly, it means after every 6 months, bank will pay me the interest. So my calculation needs to be done after every 6 months, not after every year. After every 6 months. Here we go. For example, when it comes to simple interest, simple formula, P into T into R upon 100. How much is the principal? 18,000. What is the time duration? 1 year. What about the rate? Sir, 10%. So how much interest Govind will pay? So Govind will pay interest of 1800 rupees. Absolutely perfect. He borrowed this money and now he is lending this money. Let us find out compound interest for first 6 months, because it is a case of half yearly. After every 6 months, you are going to receive the interest. After every 6 months. So at the end of first half, 6 months, what is the principal? Say 18,000. What is the rate? Say 10%. What is the time? I said first 6 months because it is given to you in the question after every half year, half yearly. So 6 months means either you can write 0.5 or else you can write half. 1 upon 2. 0, 0, 0, 0. 1's are 900. So the interest for the first 6 months is 900. What would be your P2? So my P2 would be, I started with 18,000 plus I got 900 as an interest. So it will become 18,900. Because the money was given for 1 year, I calculated interest only for 6 months. So compound interest for next 6 months. On how much? Of course on P2, 18,900. What rate? 10%. How much time? Again half year. So you can write half. 0, 0, 0, 0. 2 ones are 945. So the interest that you have earned during the next 6 months is 945. So total interest earned 900 in the first 6 months, 945 in the second 6 months. That would be rupees 1845. Who earned? Of course, Mr. Govind. He's a smart guy. He borrowed, he paid 1800, whereas he earned 1845. So what is the gain of Govind? Gain of Govind would be 1845 minus 1800. That is rupees 45. My dear friends, the question itself is so simple. The chapter is also very, very simple. I'm sure you guys will have a gala time doing this chapter. Away from expansion, away from simultaneous, all together a new look and a simple one where you already had an introduction about simple interest and compound interest. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll come out with all new ideas and all new things. See you next time. Bye.